Hello everyone and welcome to the LSI F1 World Championship. We're today for the Hungarian Grand Prix, and well, we do have not too many drivers on the grid unfortunately, but it is raining in qualifying, so that's going to be something to talk about, something interesting. Currently Tom Brainer setting the fastest lap time. Zingy, the reigning champion, returns after a break last week, and he's looking to try and go even faster if he possibly can do, and I think he can do. He's on the inters compared to the top three that are on the wets. Oggio, the other one on the inters, they haven't set lap times yet, so we will see which tyre is faster. It's looking pretty wet, so I reckon that the wet tyre is going to be quite a lot quicker. That being said, it might dry up a little bit later on, and if these guys run on these tyres, they could warm them up. Zingy's going to go and absolutely smash the time out of the park, so the inters are probably into a decent window at the moment. So well done there for Zingy, and that is looking like a strong start for him in qualifying. And ERS wise, he'll be good to do a couple of laps, and tyre wise, he'll be good to do a couple of laps. So he's going to continue on this tyre. Of course, he's already done 2 laps, but he might do another one. If he doesn't, then we'll see him go in and then come back out again for a second kind of couple of runs. You never really do one run in wet conditions. Not impossible, but you never usually do. 10 minutes on the clock, and yet again I will say we do have not many drivers. We have decided to go for 25% race distance, and that does mean that we will be scoring half points. Everything is relative regarding the drivers that are attending today. Obviously, all of the points that are possible to score will be half, so that does mean that, well, that's on the board. That is the total amount that you can score in the championship in today's race, so it doesn't really matter. Zingy goes and sets an invalid lap. They are going to go into the pit lane. That's going to be it for them. Oggio 32.2. Can't quite get to Nifo Jan. Nifo into the pit lane. Maybe the wets are the way to go, but they're going into the pit lane now, and this might mean that they are going to go to the inters. So maybe the inters are going faster than ever before. Igor doesn't go into the pit lane. He continues out on the circuit. Let's see what he can do as he crosses the line. What's it going to be? No DRS. And it's not going to be an improvement, so he's going to have to go again. On the exit, very, very hard to exit that corner, and on the brakes in the wet conditions going down the hill, very easy to lock up the front tyres, of course. You're going against gravity, losing the car. That is going to be a big front wing loss, and somehow they are still in this qualifying session. That was a close call. Front wing everywhere. And yeah, that is a big shame for Igor, but he will stay in and he'll be able to go again if he wants to. Currently sitting P3, he's got 7 tenths if he wants to try and get to Tom Brainer. Tom Brainer doing an absolutely mega job with the dedication, putting so much effort into the game to improve, coming to the F1 races to get race distances in as well, even more than they currently have in their own practice. They're improving massively. They're doing everything right. I said it last week and I'll say it again and again and again. They're doing a great job. Oggio, he's done a great job recently, almost looking at a win in Abu Dhabi, looking to fight for it. Unfortunately had a few issues, got a time penalty, pushing too hard. That is going to be a massive learning point there for them, and we'll see if they can try and win a race this season. It might be possible. They got a podium, I believe was that in Japan. Will they be able to go for another podium or a win? I think they can do. They definitely are capable. They've shown us that they're capable. They just need to get the little things together, and that will make the difference. Out the final corner, what's it going to be for them across the line? And it's going to be an 8/10 improvement to push Igor down, but nowhere near Tom Brainer. Tom Brainer's done a very good job with that lap, and a 31.4 isn't going to improve them any further. They need 4 tenths. That is the long and short of it. They are going to have to go into the pit lane and come back out again on the set of inter tyres. Sorry for the delay. Apparently the stream is dead, but I'm not entirely sure if that's true or not. So I'm going to double check, and I do apologise. Alright, no, stream isn't dead. I think that is unfortunately just a bit of a miscommunication there. We're good to go. And there you go. I think that is everything. Alright, sorry for the delay, sorry for the mix-up, and we will now head on with Tom Brainer, who is about to set their next lap, and we'll see what he can do. Can he get close to Zingy? On the outlap to start their second stint, would you say? Maybe their third? I didn't quite see if they put a first stint or not. We will find out what they can do regardless. A 31.004. Can they get to the 30s? It should be possible. Track evolution. And fresh tyres, it is going to be the way to go. Upwards is the only way you can go in qualifying. You can't go further down unless you disqualify yourself, of course. That is. Now, 29s, is that possible for Zingy? I think it is, but he's in the pit lane. He doesn't need to worry at the moment. He's just going to wait. He's going to wait for now. But that is a 6/10 gap that he has to play with. He, in theory, doesn't need to go for pole anyway because he's already won the championship, so he can just mess about and try and push for an absolute magic lap, or he can just relax in the pit lane, have a pizza, have a slice of pizza if he wants to, and then go out for the race in a little bit, which will be dry, as we have heard from the drivers. Whether that is correct or not, or they're trolling us, we don't know, but I'm pretty sure they're not trolling us, and I'm pretty sure it is going to be dry. Tom Brainer goes for the S's. Very good job, but it is not unfortunately good enough, as they are down 2/10. They're going to get another lap in, and they will get another opportunity to warm their tyres up again. They've got a lot of ERS, as you can see. The wet conditions just allow you to do multiple laps. Nice bit of rotation at the penultimate corner into the final corner. I think they're going to be looking to start another lap, unless they find 2/10 in the final sector. We will see across the line what's it going to be for the halves, and it's going to be close. Not close enough, but they did gain a lot in that final sector, so they can go quicker here. We know that for sure. We will continue to see what they can do. We've got Nifojan on their way out, and we've got Ogio on their way out. Igor and Zingy are both in the pit lane. Nifojan will be the next one to set their lap, so we will watch on board with them after we go on board for this second run with Tom Brainer. Up the hill, what's it going to look like for him? Is he going to lose it? Is he going to keep it within track limits? Easily done. Slowing the car down, you can really bottom out in the wet conditions, as it's so difficult to keep the car in a straight line, but they do it well. It's a little bit like Eau Rouge, that corner. Very, very classic styles of circuits with the elevation. Through the chicane, very easy to get wrong. You get a nice little bit of a rear flick to get the car rotated. Bring it all the way to the left to open up the next few S's. You've got a moment to relax before the foul right-hander, which I can never get right in this game, but Tom Brainer doesn't do a bad job of it at all. You've got a mini straight. Heavy braking zone coming up here, which could be an overtaking opportunity in the race if anybody is close enough. And then we've got the final few corners in the final sector. Now, very, very difficult to get right. Long, swooping corners. You've got to try and match the steering lock with the throttle input, otherwise you will spin if you're too aggressive on either one. And at the final corner, across the line, what's it going to be for Tom Brainer? It's going to be almost exactly the same again. I said you can't go down, you can only go up. He's not going down, but he's not exactly going up either. That is Nifojan, unfortunately invalidating their lap. Ogio is the next one to try and improve. We'll watch on and see as they cross the sector line to start sector 2, losing the car massively, being way too aggressive on the throttle. They're not going to gain time from that one. 3/10 down. They're going to have to find a lot again. They're going to get a second opportunity as they keep losing the car. They're going to back off on this lap and then go again very, very shortly. Tom Brainer, I'm sure, is going to do the same thing. Zingy is on his way out to set another lap. Are they already about to start the lap? Let's see how it's done from the man who's currently on pole in the number 9 car. Wanted to be number 95, but that was taken, unfortunately for him. No DRS in the wet conditions, and we'll head to turn 1. 30.4 is the lap to beat by himself, down to third gear and missing the apex by quite a margin, losing the car on exit as well as they try and scramble. That is not going to gain any time whatsoever, so it's not quite how it's done, and he has backed off, so he's going to go again. in a little bit. Tom Brainer out the final few corners to try and finally improve on their current lap time. Can they get the job done? Very interesting entry on the exit. They get the throttle down, get a slight bit of rotation. And it is going to be an improvement by 8 tenths, almost 9 tenths. Zingy does have to get this lap in now. Tom Brainer's looking at pole position for the Hungarian Grand Prix if Zingy doesn't put anything together. This is a crucial moment. We'll go across the line to get the time of Oggio at the moment. He would possibly get another lap in if he wanted to. We go up the hill. What's it going to be? Is it going to be an improvement? It is an improvement by almost 2 tenths at the moment. He needs a fair bit more if he wants to try and get to Tom Brainer and Zingy. He actually did set an improvement lap just a moment ago, a 30.4, very close to Zingy, so he could have a look at pole position if he can find about 3 tenths, just over 3 tenths. But Zingy is going to be looking to try and improve on that one as well. The Red Bull goes off the circuit. That is surely going to be a lift, and that is surely going to be pole position out of contention. They lift off, and that is going to be, unfortunately, then finished. Eager Pro, what can he do? I don't know if he's going to be able to do anything else. Tom Brainer is going to go around the final corner again to try and improve on their next lap, but I'm not sure if it's going to be possible. We'll stay on board with the Aston Martin in the green car, one of the best cars in the game, looks-wise, in my opinion. And now through the final 2 corners, Tom Brainer comes around the final few corners to now set another lap, and Oggio will get one more in as well. Tom Brainer into the pit lane. Oggio goes again. Eager Pro finishes their qualifying session. What's it going to be? And it is going to be a massive improvement, but it's only P2 and it's such a close margin. He will also get another attempt at this one. He will get a second shot. Zingy is in the middle sector. We'll go to Nipojan to see what they can do. Up by a second, it says. I don't know if that is the game telling us fibs or not. Out the final corner, what's it going to be for Nipojan, the Dutchman in the AlphaTauri? It's going to be a 1.5 second improvement, a P3. That will be their qualifying done. Zingy's in trouble if he messes his lap up. We will go and switch to him now and see what he can do. Final corner, yet again, low traction, keep the wheel straight, down on the power, across the line, what's it going to be? And a Scotsman goes pole, 1.3 seconds improvement. That is a mega lap. Absolutely destroyed the field there by a second, just over. Exactly. And then Eager Pro, he's got another opportunity to improve, and he is improving. He's going to be looking at going for that P2 spot in Hungary. Can he get it done? We haven't seen him get a front row for a long time. This is his opportunity. Yeah, sure, there's not many drivers on the grid, but a front row is a front row, a pole is a pole, and a win is a win. A fastest lap is a fastest lap. Bit of a mistake in that final corner. It goes a bit too deep. On the exit, is it going to be enough for him to improve? And it's not, unfortunately. Oggio nabbed that top spot, or that P2 spot. No, he did. He got it. He got the spot in the end. Oggio was not able to hold him off. How about that? How about that? 29.7 and a 29.752 there for Oggio. Zingy takes pole position, Eager Pro P2 and Oggio P3. That's the rest of the grid. That is a very close margin between those guys right there. We'll skim through the race director, the incidents and the pit stops, and we'll be back for the race. We'll see you in a bit. Ready, hold, go! Who's going to get it into turn one? We're finally away. Eager Pro on the front row. Can he hold it though? I'm not entirely sure. He got a bit of wheel spin. Here comes the Red Bull round the outside. He's got the Haas to the inside, but they don't make it 3 wide. The Red Bull is going to try and swoop round, but Eager Pro defends nicely. I think he's going to secure it, but not on the exit. On the throttle, he cannot hold it. That's Nipperjan in P3. Tom Brainer drops down the order, and he's already going for the P3 spot. He was actually P4. He just made a move, and on the inside, Eager Pro has to back out. That was a very, very close moment indeed, but fair play from all the drivers right there. Well done. Ziggy continues to lead the Grand Prix. Lap 1 out of 18 we're running today. Oggio in P2. That's Tom Brainer actually shocking me a little bit there. Going off the circuit, everybody's very close together. Although Zingy is looking to try and break away at the moment. Nipperjan isn't far away from the Red Bull. So all 3 Red Bull cars at the moment are at the top. And then it is Eager Pro and Tom Brainer, a Mercedes engine and a Ferrari engine. That is the mix that we've got today. Medium tyres are pretty much standard in these races. We will go to the softs later on. It would be ridiculous if you tried anything different, I'm sure. It wouldn't be impossible to have a think about, but it is going to be pretty crazy. Might have been a track limit there for Nipperjan, as I see him go very, very close to the edge of the circuit. Oggio is going to take advantage. He's going to send it to the inside line. Will he get him on the exit? They're going to have a drag race down to turn 3 into the braking zone. What's it going to be? That is going to be Nipperjan looking to come out ahead, and around the outside it's still going to be side by side. It's still going to be a drag race. The AlphaTauri has the advantage. Oggio backs off. They live to fight another day. That's going to be decided there. We've got Eager Pro and Tom Brainer sitting in P4 and 5 looking to try and get past one another, I'm sure, but they do need to focus on the cars in front ideally if they do want to make progress. Close, and he wants to try and make a move, but with the little train that they've got going on at the moment, it's not so possible to do so. Zingy breaking away DRS already to try and help his teammate. I say that to try and help his teammate. Actually, Nippo's already in P2, so to help his teammate, he would actually give him DRS. But going for the fastest lap, nevertheless, Zingy it wants to try and make a big gap as much as possible. That is Tom Brainer going to the inside line, and it looks like it's going to be job done as Eager Pro sent to the curb, and that is going to be him having to cede that position, give it up, and come back another opportunity. DRS will be available on the next lap, so that is going to spice things up. We could get some overtakes from the likes of Oggio. He will be first in the firing line with DRS to try and get Nipperjan. Goes off the circuit there, so maybe struggling with track limits a little bit. You've got to be careful. You've got to lift quite a lot if you do want to avoid a warning at that corner. Especially in this game, at least, you have to lift quite a lot. If you don't, you're going to be in big trouble. Zingy continues, and I think he's probably going to try and break at least a 6-second gap to himself and his teammate, so he can have a free pit stop, and that will, of course, help Nipperjan secure that P2 over Oggio. At the moment, it's a little bit closer. Not too close, 7 tenths isn't bad at all, and it should be enough to defend. I think about 5-6 tenths in the past has been the required distance that you need to try and overtake somebody. So 7 tenths into turn 1 is going to be very difficult unless you've got a mega setup and all the battery in the world and all the confidence on the brakes in the world, but it's not going to happen. I think it is around about 5-6 tenths. I'm going to say 5 tenths. Someone might impress me with 6, maybe even 7, but that is going to be in very special circumstances. If somebody else had the best tyres ever against the worst and a full battery without any battery and DRS, then it's just going to, yeah, it would be possible. But right now it's not going to be possible, and that is the standard that we're looking for. If they're not 5 tenths behind, then it's not going to happen, most likely. Lovely little shot of the cars going through. Got the little crocodile, as they call it, a snake if you want to call it that, whatever you want to call it. It's lap 4, and Zingy's already got a 2.8 second gap, so he's looking to try and get that 6 second gap within about 9 laps, more or less, or lap 9 he might be able to get it done. That will be when we're looking for the pit stop window. I'd say probably actually a lap 11, 12 we would look at the pit stop window to just try and maximize those soft tires. We could get somebody going for that undercut. It is possible, but it's Hungary. The tires last a little bit less because they wear up so much and they heat up as well. So actually, scratch that. It's going to be about lap 13, 14 that we're going to see pit stops, because it's just going to not be worth it whatsoever temperature-wise. Temperatures are obviously a lot different in this game, so it does mean it's a lot more complex, especially on what compound you're on, because it could still be the medium tyre, but it might be a completely different compound. Got to check that before the race and make sure that you consider it when you are setting up your car. Now, Eagle Pro sitting behind at the moment. They're stuck where they are. They can't do anything. They've got to wait for opportunities. They've got to wait for mistakes. They've got to make sure that they save their energy, as it's very easy to lose, and it's also very easy to lose the rear end, as you see with Tom Blainer. Now, Eagle Pro cannot relax. He can't say, okay, I've just gained a position, great. He has to make sure that he pushes hard to close that gap up to Oggio, because otherwise he will lose DRS to them and screw himself and Tom Blaine up. Tom manages to stay within the train and stays on track, so that is good news. But Eagle Pro, he has to rely on this here. He gets the DRS, he's going to be able to hold on. But Oggio, will he challenge Nipojan? He will challenge Nipojan. This is perfect news for Eagle Pro, because now these guys are going to slow each other down, having a bit of understeer versus a little bit of not oversteer, but just trying to turn in at a perfect time from Nipojan. That's never going to work. He's going to back off. It's only lap 6 out of 18. He's got a lot to risk at the moment, so he can sit behind and relax for now. But Oggio goes through. Eagle Pro is going to be able to catch up a little bit from that. And Tom Blainer, he sat there, had a moment to relax after that little off moment. Does miss the apex slightly. Just tries to focus, regain, relax, and then attack within a couple of laps. Ideally, for his sake, when the pit stops come around, he will be able to at least get back to where he was in front of Igor, maybe even use that overtaking opportunity as a slingshot to get past the cars ahead of them as well. It's not impossible. 4.1 seconds is the gap that Zingy has to the rest of the field. We said about lap 9 he's going to want 6 seconds, or that's what it would be planned as. So when we get to lap 9, let's see, will it be 6 seconds? I think he can do it. He's on track to at the moment. More so, actually. DRS available for Tom Blainer. Eagle Pro sits there. He can't do anything. He can do something. Nipojan is not going to be able to go for the move ahead, and he's going to be threatened by the Aston. The Aston won't have anything done. They're not really going to have the advantage. They're going to have to sit there and wait. Defensive Eagle will not need to go. So that is a good opportunity spotted for him. Unfortunately not executed. Puts the pressure on Nipojan a little bit. Nipojan's maybe thinking a little bit harder now. Could make a mistake or two if that's the case. But I think he's probably forgotten about that moment already. I say that he rides the inside curb to get that extra rotation, but you've got to be so careful, especially when we get further on into the race. Just in a few laps when the tyres really do wear down, and they do wear down faster in a 25% race distance. So they will start to get pretty old and difficult to manage, especially on curves like that. Zingy a 5.1 second gap, so he is definitely likely to get on track for our prediction, but even more so he could possibly get to 7 seconds if he wants to, but we'll see if he can do it. Nipojan very close to the back of Oggio, and I think they're probably going to give it a shot into the first corner. They were threatened by Eagle Pro last lap. They're not going to have that again. They're going to go to the outside line. Oggio tries to attack. They're going to completely collide with each other. Igor is going to get the advantage on one of the cars. It's going to be a drag race. He's boxed in now, and it's going to be a massive collision. Eagle Pro's round. That is going to be Tom Blainer through, and Oggio also has a big problem. That is such a shame there. A bit of game physics and wheel locking. the pack splits up, that is going to be pretty much race finished. There's going to be a very small chance of a safety car coming out at this stage of the race, of course. Zingy leads the way by 5.1 seconds. Niferjan, he leads Tom Brainer by 2.0 seconds, and 3.0 seconds, or 3.1 seconds, is Tom Brainer to Oggio. So that is a massive gap with everybody now, and unfortunately, that's going to be how it goes. That being said, it's not over. Time penalties will come into play. Time penalties are very easy around this circuit. We are just coming to the halfway mark. Will Zingy get that 6 seconds? Yes, he will. Just about in the nick of time. Absolutely perfect. Zingy's got the 6 seconds to the rest of the field. Tom Brainer goes into the pit lane. Did he get damage from that incident? I don't know. Unless he's just going to try and go for a special strategy, it might not be the worst idea. If he wants to try and get in front of Niferjan. He's not been exactly slow. He will be getting a front wing change though, and that is unfortunately going to be him down the order a little bit. He's going to lose the position to Oggio, and he's probably going to lose the position to Eager Pro as well. But he might come out at a similar position to Eager Pro, and of course the undercut will help him. Will it be enough though? He is going to be on some pretty old tyres come later on in the race. That is the problem. We'll get the data up on our screen if we can. And you can see 3 positions gained from Niferjan. So great advantage from him. This is the tyre situation. This is how it will be running for the rest of the race. Everybody's going to switch onto the soft tyre. It would be ludicrous if you don't. It's just regarding who will pit when. I think that the 2 AlphaTauris will be pitting at a very similar time. They don't really have much of a reason to not pit at a similar time. That being said, Zingy has skipped the pit lane and Niferjan is in. So he's going to cover off Tom Brainer, even though Tom had damage. So he's just going to be driving on his own. This could be a huge advantage to Oggio, but that being said, the gaps are so big in between drivers, I don't think they're going to be worrying about that too much, and I think this is going to be pretty much how the race goes. No energy in the car for Niferjan there, so he did push a little bit in that battle, and for his sake, it's a good thing that everybody has kind of come together, because now he can relax on his own, regain that battery for the rest of the race rather than having to use it to defend. Whether that's the case, or if it's something like he's used it to go into the pit lane, that is very possible, and I may be stating everything incorrectly, but as of now, that is how we've read it. It's how it's going to be. But it's not impossible that he was just pushing to go into the pit lane. It is very likely, in fact, because that is the way you're not supposed to do it, but you can do it. You gain about 20% depending on the track, 20% energy recovery in the pit lane. So that is why people do blast the ERS just a little bit more. Lap 11 out of 18, not got long to go now. Zingy is doing a very, very good job at the moment. He's extended by about 3 seconds. Oggio is into the pit lane though, and we'll see where they come out according to Niferjan. That being said, it should be pretty straightforward. We will see though where Tom Brainer will come out behind Oggio. 5.4 seconds is the gap between him and Niferjan. That gap between Oggio is definitely going to be a lot closer. We will watch on board if we can and see. Oggio is going to come out behind, but it's not going to be so far, and it's actually going to be very close to Eager Pro. Eager Pro will just about overtake Oggio. Very just about. That was so close. Losing it on the cold tyres. He's got to be careful about that one. Comes out in P last at the moment, so that undercut really has helped the likes of Tom and Igor. 4.4 seconds is the gap that splits those guys, so Oggio has got to go on an absolute send if he wants to try and get to the podium positions. Eager Pro though is going to be the next one that he has to clear, and if he's going to go over trap limits like that, he's going to lift and lose time, and also trap warnings will come in to play for him. Maybe not others, because they don't have much to risk. They don't have a reason to go over trap limits at the moment, especially if he's just got that dropped to 1.5 seconds. That is not how you want to do it. It allows your opponent to relax. They can then be stronger later on in the race. Oggio getting so close to those track limits to push and find everything he possibly can, but it's not going to work that way. Zinging into the pit lane, and that is going to be Nifojan on for the fastest lap. It's going to be pretty straightforward. Zingy comes out ahead, Nifojan will stay there. Egapro goes for the fastest lap as well, so he's not doing too bad at all, and he catches up to Tom Brainer by quite a bit and breaks away from Oggio by quite a bit as well. So Oggio struggling on this soft tyre, really not liking it. Tom Brainer not struggling, but Igor is flying at the moment compared to him. You can see him in the background there. He's going to try and hunt him down, and we could see a battle at the end of this race. Lap 12 out of 18. We've not got long to go. Zingy, how much further can he extend that gap? He dropped a lot from that pit stop situation. 2 laps fresher tyres, though, will be to his disposal, and I assume he's going to be powering for that fastest lap, and it shouldn't be too difficult for him to get. Out the final few corners, he's not going to be going for a fast lap right now. He will go for a fast lap on this lap, using all the energy he has available, and we will watch on board as we wait for the battle behind to close up a little bit more. Purple sector, he uses the energy down the straight, slams the brakes on, rides the curb on entry, and on the exit, don't ride it, get the throttle down, bring it to the right hand side, minimise track distance, down the hill we go, be careful on the brakes, you don't want to lock up the inside, and then on the outside, straight in the rear, all the way to track limits, riding the inside curve a little bit to minimise track distance, up the hill, get ready for the elevation, and you did avoid that inside curve. You can take it if you want to, it's faster, but you don't have to, especially in a race situation. It's very unstable to do so. Into the chicane now, not riding the inner section of the curve, but riding everything else available, once again to maximise the track usage. And then Poulias is very, very swooping. You've got to make sure that you bring it to the left and the right of the circuit on entry to maximise your line, improve your line, gain the most time into the final braking zone of the mini straight. And on the exit, you've got the smooth corners, as I said in qualifying, very easy to lose the traction. If you've got too much throttle and too much steering angle on, you've got to try and use them interlinked with one another so they're in sync. DRS would be available if he was behind another car, and that is going to be a 1.785 second improvement. Zingy goes for the fastest lap, and that is going to be looking pretty good for him. Considering Egapro, who was catching earlier on, the gap has started to stabilise. Oggio's got himself a time penalty, but also the gap for him and the car in front, which is Igor, has started to stabilise. So everything is changing up a little bit now at this stage of the Grand Prix. Lap 14 out of 18. Everything is starting to, I say, relax for Zingy, who's gone for that mega fastest lap and already brought it to a 7.0 second lap time. But it has started to boil up a little bit more for the likes of Egapro and Tom Brainer. Oggio, yes, of course it has as well, but unfortunately for him, he isn't that close. Zingy leads the way on lap 14, Nifojan in P2, looking for an AlphaTauri 1-2 and running away with the AlphaTauri Championship. I think they've already won it, and I would like to say a quick congratulations to Zingy. We will properly congratulate him when he crosses the line for the final time and wins the World Championship, just to confirm it on live stream. Tom Brainer sitting in the podium position. This is great for him. Not great for Egapro, who is an F1 driver and is looking to get those points. They do class where they are. I know they're reserve drivers, but this is how it goes in F1. You do need to finish ahead of the reserve drivers if you want to score the correct amount of points. Egapro looking for his first podium in a while. The circumstances are different, but the game is the game. The way of racing is the way of racing. You have to be in it to win it, and winning it is considering getting a podium position. This is what he's looking for, and this is what he can do. A 1.6 second gap now. He is gaining, and he's got time to gain more as well. He's got time to think about it. He's got time to save energy and prepare for that final moment where he's going to make that overtake. And when he does make that overtake, he can probably go for it whenever he wants to, because Hungary, it's not easy to get back a position. So if he can believe in himself, have that pace, make the move, and then break away just a little bit, even if it's not that much, he can probably defend it on the final few laps, rather than other circuits where you'd wait behind until the final few laps. You want to try and spot opportunities around Hungary, and this is what Igor is going to have to do right here. And he has spotted an opportunity by getting DRS, and this is going to be his chance now to save a little bit on the next few laps. Lap 16 out of 18, he's got time to think still to get this move done cleanly and secure it and get his first podium in a long time. Tom Brainer looking for their first podium regardless. Can they get the job done? If they can't, and they're looking promising for tomorrow pace-wise, they weren't slow at all. At the start of the race, obviously, everything split up. They haven't showed too bad pace from then on, but still, it's all good practice. And if they can get some side-by-side racing here with Igor, that would be great to see for their race situation tomorrow as well. Oggio, 3.3 seconds, struggling further behind, but still in a great position to score points. Lap 16 out of 18 for them. Zingy, now 10.2 seconds, double digits now for the Scotsman, just to show how good he really is. Igor Pro, we go back to this battle, hasn't caught that much up to Tom Brainer. 8 tenths is the gap now. He's got to really think hard about this. Tom Brainer is doing a good job to defend. He's got a bit of energy as well to use, so it's not going to be that easy. As I was saying earlier, if everything is more or less equal, you need to be about 5 tenths behind to make an overtake. So Igor's got 1 lap to set this up for that final lap, that final run into turn 1. On the next lap, so he needs to get that 5 tenths. He's currently there, but he has to hold it throughout the rest of the lap. No good if you're just going to hold it for the first bit of the lap, because you won't find yourself making that move unless you send it in an absolutely crazy way. Tom Brainer looking like he went over track limits there on the final moments before the uphill, and that does mean it's going to make it easier for Igor Pro. Maybe that is a spot of uncertainty, instability and pressure shown by the Haas driver, and that will be Tom Brainer. Of course, driving that car, Igor Pro is going to be loving that. He's got a little bit of energy to deploy. He's 3 tenths behind. He's close enough to have a look at this at the moment. The Haas is going to have a good opportunity to defend though, as it is Hungary after all. It's just whether he's saved enough energy or not, or if he has used it all up to try and extend that gap. We start the final lap of the Hungarian Grand Prix as we go around the final corner. Igor Pro is going to look to try and take his first podium in a while, and Tom Brainer looking to try and take his first podium ever in LSI. Defensive, hard to the inside. Igor Pro is going to have to go to the outside, but no, he spots it back to the inside. Tom Brainer going to try and turn in as early as he possibly could, whilst leaving space there for the Haas driver. DRS comes into effect again. He's going to have to send it to the inside, but it's not going to come about, and I think Tom Brainer has just done enough to hold on to that podium position, and he does regardless, as Igor Pro goes over the circuit, over the track limits. He would have been close enough to look at going for the move in the rest of the lap possibly, but unfortunately just a little bit too frustrated, doesn't focus enough, and that is going to be him getting a penalty. Unless Tom Brainer gets a penalty, it might still be possible, but other than that, I don't think it's going to be possible. That being said, he might get a time penalty in the next corner. Would it be anywhere near? No. Tom Brainer doesn't need to risk it. That would have been Igor's last overtaking opportunity. Loses the car. That is going to be how it goes. Zingy wins the Hungarian Grand Prix and secures the LSI F1 World Championship. Yet again, they are a 5-time world champion. A world champion. No one else has done this. I know No one else has done this. He is a legend. Niffer Jam P2. Tom Brainer takes his first ever podium in P3. Eager Pro fought hard for it, made it worth it, and that is going to be Oggio in P5 at the end, scoring those points. Niffer Jam gets driver of the day, starting at the back. Or not starting at the back, sorry, starting further back, were they? I think they were starting somewhere further back, and they made their way up the order. Zingy, the world champion, done it again. Very well deserved. Dedication to LSI, and yeah, someone needs to stop him. Next season, hopefully, someone will challenge him. It's not easy. You need pace, you need consistency, and you need confidence. That's what he's got, and somebody's got to try and beat that in order to actually defeat him, basically. Will we get the results? I'm not entirely sure, because there's not too many people in the lobby, so it does make it very hard to actually record. We won't get the results, unfortunately. Hopefully, no one needs to get any details down, because yeah, we're not going to have it. Anyway, we'll be back for the post-race interviews. Hello everyone and welcome back to the post-race interviews for the Hungarian Grand Prix. We start with Oggio. Oggio, it was looking like a pretty intense battle before the incident, and then the pit stops came about, and it just kind of fell apart from there. Can you take us through it?
Yeah, so my start was good, went up into P2, then Zingy just pulled away. It was just too quick. And then we started battling, and into the first corner, I think Nifo just turned in a bit too early and we made contact. So then me and Igor were side by side with Nifo in front, and I was still partly alongside, and he just turned left, which made us spin. And yeah, then everyone just undercut me, which yeah wasn't optimal.
Yeah, it was tough. Do you think you learned something to go into tomorrow's race in the F1.5 Championship?
Undercut is powerful.
Good, good. Do you think you'll use it tomorrow?
Probably.
Secret information. He didn't confirm it though. It was only probably. Thank you very much, Oggio. Next race, Belgian Grand Prix. It's a sprint race. Do you like that circuit?
I'm not the best at Belgium, but it's a fun track to drive, and sprint races are super fun as well.
Awesome, awesome. I like that. Somebody actually likes the sprint race. Thank you. Good to see. Good to see. Thank you very much, Oggio. One last question. How would you describe your race in 3 words?
Good, bad, mid.
Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time. Well done today. Great effort.
Thank you.
And we move on to Tom Brainer. Tom Brainer scores his first ever podium in LSI. I know it's a reserve driver championship points podium, but it is still a podium. Well done, well defended. It was pretty intense in the final lap there.
Yeah, it definitely was. After the crash between Oggio and Igor, I hoped I can avoid any damage. Unfortunately, the car rolled down the area. I got a bit of wing damage. I thought the pace is okay. I don't lose that much, but the time for the pit stop was anyway, and I thought, well, then I could change the wing. Also tried to undercut, got in front of them with a good of gap, and then Igor was just much faster than me, especially in clear air. He was like a rocket ship.
Yeah.
And I got very nervous at the end, so like 5 or 4 rounds till the end, as I saw the gap shrinking every lap by 4 or 5 tenths. And then last lap, oh, I was so nervous. He was so close to me. And then as I saw the 3-second penalty for him, I thought just, come on, take it, stay on the track. You've got no track limit warnings left, so just straight on the just take be on the just be on the track and hope you don't spin. And then I got it, and I'm so happy and so nervous. I think you can hear it.
Very well
and
done. I'm very, very happy for you, and you deserve it.
I'm just so glad, even after a week with the fewest bit of practice in all of the calendar this far, having a very hard day today, and it just such a relief for all the training, so on.
That's good. I'm very happy for you, and you deserve this very, very much. Well done, Tom. Hopefully, this is going to help you tomorrow, and hopefully, you're going to get a lot more podiums and maybe a win at some point. You put a lot of practice into it. It will come eventually, I promise you. So that is the step up. Well done today. And very, very well defended. Great defensive move there. Next race, Belgium. Do you like that circuit?
It's a great circuit. I love the races there. I just need to put the effort in to train more this week, the following week. My exams got moved through illness of my teacher, so I've got more time.
Ah, okay.
And I hope I've got larger chance of bigger points, sprint race, 4 points, and so on.
Yeah.
So it just can be a great race, a great experience.
Of course. Of course. Perfect. Thank you, Tom. One last question. How would you describe your race in 3 words?
I'm speechless.
Thank you very much. Well done today. Very well deserved. It has happened. You've got the podium, and good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
And we move on to Zingy. Zingy, that is another win. That is another reason to show that you deserve to be the champion. Can you take us through that one?
Yeah, I mean, it was quite simple actually. I never expected it to be, but my pace was quite good. I mean, in the qualifying, the weather definitely was a factor. It was quite difficult. but I managed to somehow slap on pole with a horrendous lap. Don't know how I done it. And then in the race, I just managed to pull away. Those guys were battling like mad, and I did not want to be part of it. So I pushed for the first 2 or 3 laps, and then tried to just eke out the gap slowly, without getting any penalties, and pit after everyone else did, so I could get the fastest lap. And it was quite simple from there on, because I had the fresher tyres, and it was quite difficult for others to catch me.
Were you listening to the stream at all?
No, why?
Because I said that I thought you would extend the gap to 6 seconds by lap 9, and as you crossed the line, you were on 5.9, and then when you crossed the line, it went to 6 seconds. It was a perfect prediction. Well done. Very well deserved. Domination, perfect. Championship-wise, you've done a perfect job. Dedication, of course, and consistency is what you need, and you've done it. Of course, there's been difficult times for the league where people have maybe not quite made it to the races, but you have, and that is the reason why you deserve to be the champion. So well done, Zingy. Thank you very much again. We appreciate it. Even though it annoys people that you win so much, you still deserve it. You are the one that make it happen. Thank you very much. Belgium, do you like that circuit? Do you like sprint races?
Okay, Belgium. I like Belgium to some extent, apart from one corner that decided to throw a badger in the way, and I couldn't brake this time, and I kind of crashed into the wall. That happens sometimes, but no,
I think
Belgium
was that
overall.
your last actual crash, like proper, like not DNF because you crossed the line where you finished enough of the race, but that was your last crash that almost put you out the race.
No, it was Singapore. No.
Oh yeah, you did. Ah, okay. You reminded me of that one. Damn.
Because I think my tyres were finished, and then
Well, yeah, your tyres were finished because they were over the barrier, I think. Anyway, thank you very much, Zingy. One last question. Would you describe your race in 3 words?
5-time champion.
Thank you very much. We'll see you next time. Well deserved and well done.
Thank you.
And we move on to Nifo Jan's teammate. Nifo, that is a P2. Pretty casual. Can you take it? Well, I say that. The first part wasn't casual whatsoever. Can you take us through that one? And also the ERS management game at Hungary is not easy. Can you take us through that?
Yeah, I mean, when it rained in quali, I already knew I was going to start last with the circumstances with practice. So, yeah, it's basically the same situation as last week. Just didn't have any time to practice, and with the no line and the definite skill issue I have this game, that doesn't work very well. So obviously I start last, and then by the time I got to my Zingy, I have used a lot of my ERS and he's gone. I think if I qualified better, I don't think I could have competed with Zingy, but I think I'm quite good at like following faster guys, just following what they do. And then I might keep up with them. That's what I did in Zandvoort and Brazil, where I wasn't the fastest in clean air, but I could follow their lines. But yeah, that's a what-if situation, and yeah, I tried everything. It's a shame for the contact in turn 1, I think lap 8. I don't know if it was my fault. If it was my fault, I'm sorry to Ogil. But yeah, the same happened lap 6. I think we might have different lines which don't correlate well with each other. So yeah, we had a bit of contact twice. One was a bit worse than the other, and then obviously the incident, the next corner basically gave me a free gap, and I was on my own. And pace in clean air was once again embarrassing, but yeah, we got to move on, I guess. There's the track has been good to me in the past, but today with the circumstances, it wasn't meant to be.
It is a shame, and that is very well said. Wasn't meant to be. But still, thank you very much. And P2 is a decent recovery in the end. Belgium, do you like that circuit, and do you like the opportunity of sprint races? Because qualifying, I assume you're not quite so keen on, so sprint races get you better positions in the starting grid?
Yeah, maybe. I think qualifying is definitely not one of my strongest suits, so a sprint could help. Also causes some chaos. Yeah, Spa it's a good circuit. It's not been one of my strongest, but we will try everything. Hopefully we can get a bit of practice in to actually, do like a Brazil and Zandvoort and be a bit competitive again, but time will tell.
It sounds good to me. I hope that goes well. It sounds like a plan. Thank you very much, Nifajan. One last question. How would you describe your race in 3 words?
A horrible, horrible pace.
Thank you very much. That was a hell of a 3 words, and we'll see you next time. Well done today. Great effort. Thank you. And that has been it for the post-race interviews. Thank you very much for watching. It's been a pleasure. We'll see you tomorrow for the F1.5 EU Championship. That is Zingy taking his 5th World Championship. That's the most that anybody has ever done in LSI. That is 4 championships in a row. And then I will leave you. Thank you very much again. Good night.